Okay, good morning. Good morning. My name is Phyllis Nash, and this is the Diamond Factory, guys, where we get together each and every morning, Tuesday through Friday, to start off the day with positivity and like minds. And so, before getting to announce our phenomenal speaker this morning, I would just like to remind everybody in the Chicagoland area and the surrounding areas that we do scan parties tonight at the dispensary. We will be scanning between 6 and 7, and at 7:15 we will start the presentation. So if you are a coach out there, guys, I have reached out to you, but you need to be getting in some scan time because these scans change people's lives. So we know we got a lot of coaches in the Chicagoland area. I would like for you to please get on the schedule by emailing me at Phyllis at Wakana and let me know your availability now through the end of February, probably going all the way into April, simply because the contest Brand New Me in 2023 goes through April. So, without further ado, I want to bring up our own VP of training. That would be none other than Coach Dan. Coach Dan, are you out there? And please come and unmute yourself. Oh, there you go.
Great morning, great morning. I trust and pray that all is well on this wonderful, wonderful day. It is always exciting to be with us, with you guys in the mornings. I look forward to Wednesdays because it gives an opportunity to it's the middle of the week, and it gives an opportunity to put things in perspective based on where you came from and where you're going. One of the things I understand um, about what we do is that there's a lot of information that comes to you. We live in a society of sometimes I believe information overload, and we participate in the gathering of information. There was a Super Saturday event, and at the Super Saturday event, as I watched that event, the information was phenomenal. The information was phenomenal. We get excited about the information that we hear. And one of the things I've learned is that information gives you knowledge. It allows you to have insight on a particular subject matter. But information is just information until it becomes revelation to you. Now, what does that mean, revelation to you? There's the light bulb, the aha moment that says, I got it. And when you say, I got it, literally what you're saying to yourself is that you understand how the information that you have is applicable to who you are and what you're doing. And so, what I want to do today is I want to begin to challenge you how to take information, allow it to become revelation so that you can activate it with action, because information that you retain and or you receive, if it's not, I want to make up a word, so I'm going to make this word up because Webster and Thorndike doesn't have jurisdictional authority over letters and words. If the information that you have is not actionalized, y'all hear that word, actionalized, that means you take that information and put it into action, then it will never really be a benefit to you. It's one thing to know it, but it's another thing to know what to do with it. Let me say that again. It's one thing to know it, but it's another thing to know what to do with it. I'm going to say it one more time just in case my Miss Bernadine is taking notes. It's one thing to know it, but it is another thing to know what to do with it. And I think sometimes our frustration comes in the fact that we know it, but we struggle in what to do with it. And because we struggle in what to do with it, guess what? We do nothing. We just know the information. I am reading through the Bible with my son, Josiah. Every morning he's reading to me the Word of God. And what I realized, we had to change translations because he was reading information, but the information is written in a way and in a style where he doesn't really understand it. There was no aha moment. So in changing the translation, he's able to better understand the information, which means now he's better able to apply it to his everyday life. And so those are the things that we want to consider when we are receiving information. I want to challenge you to not only hear the information, not only receive the information, but make certain that there is an understanding of it, that you may, here come my word, actionalize that information so that you can be able to apply it and benefit from it. So let's go to Super Saturday. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the information that I got from watching Super Saturday and that Brother Javarius did, which did an absolutely amazing job. I want to take some of that information and say, okay, how do we apply it? What's the revelation of the information that he's given? Because I believe I watched about an hour or so of information. Now, that's a lot of information to absorb, and it was fantastic. Now what we have to do is take that information and begin to actionalize it by inserting it into some of the things that we are doing in your everyday presentation. And that information that was given, there were so many moments where you can utilize that information to overcome SCOs. And we know that SCOs are standard client objections. What are the standard client objections? How do we overcome certain things? The first thing what we want to do is, remember, I always tell you, you have to properly position, here we go, you've heard me say this, your proposition to the potential customer and or business person that you're talking to. You got to properly position your proposition. So that being said, let's look at one of the things. First of all, credibility. Credibility, write this down. Credibility. Whenever you're hearing information, you always want to extract credibility. 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 You want a credible witness to the information that you're receiving. So let's look at credibility. Credibility is Harvard Business School conducted an independent research. That is credibility. Harvard Business School conducted an independent research on multi-level marketing. Why is this important? Because it helps to overcome those, watch this, of our population, those that we may encounter that have limited understanding of multi-level marketing based on what they've heard. Multi-level marketing is a Ponzi scheme. Multi-level marketing is a pyramid. Multi-level marketing is all of these different things that has this negative connotation. But then you could say, yes, I understand. I can understand why you can see it that way. However, Harvard Business School. Credibility. Now, not only credibility, but the next thing you want to do, you want to extract from it something that supports whatever it is that you're stating. So if you're talking to someone and you begin to look at the fact that you're seeking to position Akana in such a way that says this is the best time to get in, and you want to parallel it with certain companies like Amazon, Google, Bitcoin, all of these different opportunities, right? When you look at it, you go back to the research. You go back to the information that you have, and to support the fact that Wakana is uniquely positioned right now for you to be able to get in. Why? Because we're less than 100,000 engagements with Wakana. And as a result of being less than 100,000 engagements with Wakana, those individuals that enter in at that ground floor level based on Harvard Business School, are y'all seeing this? At that ground floor level represents 80% of the overall wealth that company will attain. This is how you take information and connect it to your conversation. All right, so look, let's do this. What I want you to do, whenever you're receiving information, I want you to identify what can you extrapolate from that information and make it part of your daily conversation. Let me say that again. When you are receiving information, I want you to take what you can. I want you to extrapolate, pull out of, from that information, what you can apply in your daily conversation when you're talking to potential customers and or potential business builders. How can I use this to build? It's one thing to get excited about what you hear, but it's another thing to be about what you hear and take what you hear and utilize it to help you. And so this is, and I just used, Javarius, I just used his presentation as one example of all of the information that you receive on a consistent basis. And Akana is always pumping out information, pumping out information, pumping out information, pumping out information. If all you're doing is eating it, you never digest it and let it pass out, you'll become information overload or informationally obese. We must be able to take the information that we're learning and make it part of our day-to-day conversation. We must actionalize the information. So here's what I want you to do today. I want you to think about all of the things that you've heard. I want you to think about all of the information that you've been given and you have access to. And then I want you to write in one column the information. And you could be short. You know, you could say Harvard Business School. And then that lets you know that you're dealing with the report that the brother had talked about. And then what I want you to do is say actionable, actionalize. Put actionalize. I'm gonna tell you how to spell it because it's my word. It's ACTIONALIZE. That was pretty good. Actionalize. I want you to take that out. Take points of that report out and say and then put how you would utilize it in your day-to-day conversation. Take portions of the information and suggest how you would utilize it in your day-to-day conversation. That's what I want you to do. Now, here's the next thing that we have to consider. Man, I'm running out of time. So number one, information helps give credibility. Number two, information helps to bring substance to the conversation that you're having, right? Number three, information becomes a blueprint for your success. How is that? Because we're giving you all this training, all this stuff. These are the things that information does for you. But information means nothing. It means nothing. It is just information unless you got it and unless you understand how to use that information to make and apply it to your day-to-day conversation and building your business. And so I'm going to stop there because, again, what we'll do every Wednesday is create an opportunity for you to give feedback, to share how this presentation helped. If there's any questions that you may have, for clarity's sake, I want to do that so we're not just talking at you, but we're talking to you and we're making certain that you got it. So Ms. Phyllis did a great job last week when she said, told you how to do it. So we can't all talk at once. So let's, those that you have something to say, mute your phone, give us your name, tell us where you're calling from, and take about 60 seconds to give feedback. Go ahead and do that now. Thank you so much. Anyone?
Well, I
All
guess
right.
I am, because we're getting ready to do what you said do. Put those information into action. Anybody out there? Because I think he's saying exactly what we need to be doing. I hear crickets, Coach Dan. That means next week you
I
got
hear crickets.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, so here's what happens when you hear crickets. When
Hello,
you hear
guys.
crickets, that means,
Can you hear me?
hello?
There you go.
Yes.
Hey, I'm so sorry. I thought I was double clicking. This is Margaret Dorsey. Hey, Coach Dan. Good morning, everybody. I
Good morning.
actually applaud the information, and I think that yesterday Phyllis did a very similar kind of, so how do you apply it? And for me, this is like the other side of understanding. Exactly what you guys are talking about. We hear, but how do we apply? And when you talk about taking notes, I mean, that's what I do all the time. So, I mean, you actually have to see it, and the repetition is the other part of it. And so I really enjoy all of the training, going back to Super Saturday certification and everything. I'm on it because that's how I learn. And I think people, as we get these calls every day, are beginning to add up, their knowledge. And then the application is definitely just a natural thing, because you're in an environment where we're encouraged and supported, to get it done. So just wanted to say that. Enjoy you guys always.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else before we let the line go? All right. So listen, you got it. I know we wasn't fire and brimstones today, but I was just really thinking about what we do and how much information we gain, and then what do we do with it. And so you got to be able to apply what it is that you hear and what it is that you learn. Otherwise, you've heard it not, and you really didn't learn it, because the indication that you learned it is your ability to apply it. All right, y'all have a supernaturally wonderful kind of day. And until next time, as always, prosper.